Well, I think it's fair to say that when it comes to votes as a whole, Liz Truss has become more popular as this campaign's gone along. But I mean, the data still just about shows that Rishi Sunak would be better at reaching out to people who aren't currently into the Conservative coalition and sort of trying to expand the number of people voting for the Conservatives. Having said both of those things, I mean, it's very difficult to tell how popular a prime minister is going to be until they become prime minister, because the vision that they set out for the country, what they do in their honeymoon period, the kind of policies they prioritise, the kind of impact those policies end up having on the economy or on people's personal financial situation is all incredibly unpredictable. So it really is hard to tell, just how well these two will go down with the public until they've been in the job for a year and we start to sort of see how the public react to the things that they're doing.
Chris, you work for Opinium. I'll just mention, I hope you don't mind, another polling group, Savanta ComRes, because they came in with something interesting. They'd actually spoken to Conservative councillors, and they had Liz Truss only 2 points ahead of Rishi Sunak. And here's the interesting thing, undecided, 32%.
Yeah, that was an interesting poll, but it does show a bit of a different result to what we've seen when we've seen polling of all Conservative Party members, which tends to show Liz Truss quite comfortably ahead of Rishi Sunak. And look, never say never, and particularly as a pollster, it's always important to feel like you're adding caveats and talking about why things could change. But to be honest with you, at this stage, the overwhelming likelihood is that Liz Truss is going to go on to be Prime Minister in September this year. Ballot papers are going out this week. Most people vote early. I'm sure it's true that people do have the chance to change their mind, but I think it's also true that incredibly few people will change their mind. We've seen momentum. We know how much momentum counts for in these races, firstly because it leads to this rush of endorsements for Liz Truss that we're seeing, but also because the losing candidate tends to sort of flail around a bit with lots of sort of policy announcements which are potentially not very good strategically. And I think Rishi's been doing a bit of that as well. But most importantly of all, the big reason Rishi Sunak's behind, or one of the big reasons Rishi Sunak's behind, is because people trust Liz Truss more than they trust Rishi Sunak. And trust is a very difficult thing to come back from, which I think is why Rishi Sunak's been finding this race so difficult.